Kampung Sungai Chinchin, a historical village that was developed 127 years ago. Here lies a historic building that contribute in the involvement of Islam in Tanah Melayu, which is known as Masjid Sungai Chinchin. Selangor, a region of western West Malaysia occupying part of coastal alluvial plain on the Strait of Malacca. In 1974, a portion of Selangor centering on Kuala Lumpur was designated to Wilayah Persekutuan of Federal Territory. It is also surrounded by three other states in Malaysia, which are Negeri Sembilan, Perak and Pahang. Selangor consists of 9 districts, which are Sabak Bernam, Kuala Selangor, Petaling, Klang, Kuala Langat, Sepang, Hulu Langat, Hulu Selangor and Gombak. Selangor's history and economic development have been closely linked with three rivers, the Selangor River, Klang River and the Langat River. Gombak is one of the districts that are populated in this country in the state of Selangor, Darul Ehsan. It was established by Minangkabau immigrants with the consent of Sultan Selangor in 1974. Due to the Padri War that happened in the West Sumatra, Mandailing people came and settled down along Sungai Gombak before the coming of Minang people.
Itu kaum Mandailing dah datang awal lagi lah kat Gombak ni. Jadi dikatakan sepanjang-panjang ni semua ni kaum Mandailing, kemudian baru datang dia orang Minang pula.
Among them who migrated to Tanah Melayu were groups led by Raja Asal, his nephew Raja Bila and the overlord of the Mandailings. Gombak district is now located along Jalan Gombak in Kuala Lumpur northeastern outskirts. The contour and terrain of this district consists of hill and greenery, especially in the east part of the north and west. While in the central region, the land consists mainly of lowlands. The main river that flow in this district are Sungai Gombak, Sungai Klang and Sungai Batu. The Gombak River flows downstream from a hilly area and meets the Klang River where Masjid Jami' Tuanku Abdul Samad is located. Along the river, multiple villages had been developed since long years ago, including Kampung Sungai Chinchin, which was founded by Tuan Syekh Muhammad Noor.
Sebermula cerita Khalifah Sufi menyemai ilmu di pinggir kali, menjadi pusaka warisan hakiki. Wilayah Gombak menjadi saksi.
Tuan Syekh Muhammad Noor Al-Khalidi, also known as Muhammad Noor Naim, was a Mandailing from Panyambungan who was born in 1860 in North Sumatra. He was an authoritative community leader with a noble heart. With the support of the public, Sheikh Muhammad Noor hailed from North Sumatra to develop a school that not only focuses on worldly knowledge but also on spiritual education. Throughout his life, he had 4 wives and 6 children. He first married to Haja Halimah, then Raja Maimunah binti Raja Abdul Rahman, who was also the niece of Raja Bila. His third and fourth wife was Zainab binti Lebah Hassan and Zabedah binti Yaqub. In 1884, Tuan Syekh Muhammad Noor Al-Khalidi migrated from North Sumatra to Tanah Melayu as he has no longer wanted to live under the Dutch rule. He travelled with his adopted sibling, Sheikh Zainal Abidin, and his 2 friends. All of them part their own way once arrived in Peninsula to spread the knowledge of Islam. Mandailing people believe that the confluence of the rivers is the best area to start a settlement.
Bila bertemu dengan muara yang menjadi pertemuan 2 sungai, maka disitulah kamu berkampung. Semoga kamu dan anak-anak cucu kamu kelak menjadi orang yang berguna dan mendapat rahmat dari Tuhan Yang Maha Kuasa.
Therefore, Tuan Syekh Muhammad Noor chose his first settlement at the confluence of Sungai Pusu and Sungai Gombak at Batu Lapan. He had also built a surau with the villagers there. In 1894, Tuan Syekh Muhammad Noor moved to Sungai Chinchin, which is a mile away, after finding that the area at Batu Lapan was not suitable to be used as an Islamic village as planned. He was looking for a strategic place for his religious teaching to build a masjid and found an area at the meeting of Sungai Gombak and Sungai Semampus as it is located now.
Dia memang asal daripada belah sana kan, apa Sumatera Utara. Memang dia berhijrah kat sini masa tu sebenarnya perang Padri masa tu. Sekitar tu bila ada berlaku perangan tu, masing-masing nak mencari tempat barulah. Itu masa tu Belanda masuk sana, dia pindah ke sini. Betul dia dengan keadaan keturunan apa semua tu nak jaga, dia orang berkumpul lah sini. Asalnya masjid ni sepatutnya di Batu Lapan tu. Pasal tak tepi Spimat tu ada satu surau kecil situ. Sebab Syekh ni dia suka cari, kalau nak buat tempat pengajian dia nak buat tempat pertemuan dua sungai. Kalau ikut ada satu surau Al-Huda ke apa tepi Spimat Batu Lapan tu, dekat depan klinik kesihatan tu. Ada satu surau, situ pun tempat pertemuan Sungai Pusu dengan Sungai Gombak. Sini Sungai Semampus dengan Sungai Gombak. Tu saya tengok ada logik jugalah.
Sheikh Muhammad Noor and Sheikh Zainal Abidin together founded Sungai Chinchin and developed it further with Islamic trust. A surau and a madrasah were built together with some pondoks provided for the people who came to seek knowledge from him.
Asalnya yang keliling ni nampak macam padat rumah kan. Sebenarnya pondok-pondok kecil asalnya. Pondok-pondok yang hanya boleh tidur 2 orang dan ada dapur sikit untuk masak. Sebab dulu pengajian untuk guru mengajar, murid-murid ni keluar daripada pondok, kumpul semua. Jadi oleh kerana bila guru pun dah tak ada, pengajian dah tak ada, dia ni besarkan sedikit-sedikit rumah dia orang sampai terus kekal sini, sekitar dalam 30 rumah ada sini sekarang. Asalnya 30 tu adalah pondok-pondok kecil.
The name Kampung Sungai Chinchin was given by Sheikh Muhammad Noor. A myth stated that the village was named after an incident where he helped a couple to find the lost ring in the river. The surau and madrasah Nurul Muhammadiyah was completed after a few months of construction and was opened in 1895. But only the madrasah still remain until now. Architecturally and structurally, both surau and madrasah design were influenced by the Javanese and Mandailing architecture due to its structure and the origin of its founder, Sheikh Muhammad Noor, who came from Sumatra. The most noticeable structure of the madrasah represent the influence of Javanese architecture is the 2 levels of roof. The madrasah also has the main characteristic of a standard Malay house, which is on steel to provide both ventilation and flood protection in hot tropical weather. As the madrasah is located near to the Gombak River, the steel design will elevate the building and prevent the madrasah from being swept away due to the flood. Then, the surau was renovated into a main prayer hall in 1905. During the time of Sheikh Muhammad Noor, beduk was used as a sign for call of prayer and to tell if someone was dead. It was made from a local trunk in which the whole big trunk is carved into the shape of a drum. The beduk was still preserved until now and it has been relocated at the main entrance of the masjid. Moreover, a detention house was also built beside the masjid which applied for those who did not follow the Sharia compliances. It is stated that the people will be punished by reciting Al-Ikhlas 1,000 times, doing zikir and some others that help in remembrance of God.
Dihitung bertekad menyeru masyarakat, gugurnya permata, tidak terhenti hikmat. Yang ditinggal tetap meneruskan hasrat, mematri jasa, bersulamkan amanat.
In 1921, Sheikh Muhammad Noor died at the age of 61. He was buried just beside the masjid, which was originally a graveyard. Soon after, 3 of his wife and 6 children were also buried at the same place. He is known for being one of the most important people who spread Islamic teaching in Kampung Sungai Chinchin. Thus, Sultan Al-Din Shah once paid a visit to Sheikh Muhammad Noor's grave and ordered the landowner to charge for no fee for the land. It was gazetted to become a reserve mosque lot with no tax charge on 28 February 1922. In 1923, the Madrasah Nurul Muhammadiyah had two levels that was used as a place to learn religious teaching, with Sheikh Muhammad Noor, where the ground level is used by the male students and the upper level were used by the female students. The madrasah only consists of a single space, which is the prayer hall. The core is supported by the columns, which are positioned on the shallow rough foundation to support the two-story buildings. There are a total of 12 columns that support the whole structure of the Madrasah Nurul Muhammadiyah. The columns are being placed following the grid to ensure the functionality of the structure and the load distributed fairly. The central columns are bigger than others to support the tight roof. The timber beam and column structure were joined using nails or pasak to strengthen the structure. The floor system of Madrasah Nurul Muhammadiyah can be divided into two systems, which are timber and concrete. The square prayer hall at the ground floor has a concrete flooring with a measurement of 8 meter by 8 meter. The main prayer hall on the first floor uses a timber flooring system with a layer of plywood planks and timber planks on top. The floor joists and timber girders are connected using mortise and tenon joint system. Madrasah Nurul Muhammadiyah's wall is made up of timber. The height of the half wall on the ground floor is about 1 meter, while the walls on the first floor are extended up to the ceiling joists. The walls are covered by wooden boards with wall-mounted systems that overlap each other using the Susun series system. The horizontal wooden boards are nailed to each other onto the wall stud. In 1923, Madrasah Nurul Muhammadiyah used to have no doors but only openings to allow people to enter and exit the madrasah. On the first floor, the madrasah consists of 12 double-leaf windows that are built from timber with timber frame. All the windows are complemented with a set of railings that is also known as pagar musang and has kepala tingkap above it. The kepala tingkap is using a simple motif of jejala, lattice, to allow natural daylighting and to invite daylight into the madrasah throughout the day even when the windows are closed. The entire roof structure of the Madrasah Nurul Muhammadiyah covered all the area of the prayer hall and was built using a timber construction system with zinc on top. There was also a small space between the roof which was used to be a place for muazzin to call for prayer. It also aimed to provide a static effect inside the masjid to improve the comfortability of the madrasah itself. Awning roof was added on all sides of the madrasah to protect from rain and sunlight. On top of the roof is where mustaka is being placed, an architectural decorative element that adds an artistic value to the roof of Madrasah Nurul Muhammadiyah. According to Javanese belief, if the mustaka falls or is struck by lightning, it indicates that disaster will happen to the occupants, as it symbolizes a sign or a fate for a building. There are several different types of mustaka in Javanese architecture, but for Madrasah Nurul Muhammadiyah used the floral type of mustaka. In 1965, the Masjid Sungai Chinchin underwent renovation due to the old timber structure being damaged and no longer being able to support the number of people. It was constructed using brick but not having any of the same elements of the old masjid. The construction was finished in 1968 and launched by Almarhum Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah. During the construction, the madrasah was shifted a few feet from its original location. The masjid was built with a pad foundations as it is located near the river. The floor slab was located on top of the ground beam and the floor is raised 580 mm from the ground. The dimensions of the floor which covered the prayer area is about 14,400 mm by 15,800 mm. There are 4 types of columns that were constructed as the columns for Masjid Sungai Chinchin. Each type of the column was different in size. All of the columns are constructed directly from the pad foundation up to the wall beam that supports the roof structure. The exterior brick wall was constructed with openings and doors. There are 4 doors that can be used by the user to enter the prayer hall, and the other 2 doors were used to enter the audio room. There are 15 windows, and most of the windows are topped with arched fixed glass pane. The glass pane were in semicircle shape. Some of the window panels can be opened for ventilation purposes, and some of the window panels cannot be opened as it is attached with the timber bookcases. There are ventilation panels below each window. Each set of ventilation panels consists of 8 hollow in rectangular shapes. Ventilation panels, or known as lubang angin, was designed in a building to allow fresh air and natural daylight to pass through. The interior wall that is connected with the secondary columns inside the prayer hall is designed with an arched fixed glass pane. The walls are offset from the floor level where the arched glass pane are made. There was a keyhole arch located at one of the prayer hall's entrances that brings the ambience and the sense of welcoming to the visitors. The roof is constructed with Dutch gable roof. This roof helped to avoid any water ponding and leaking to the main prayer hall. The roof structure is made from timber and it is layered with corrugated metal roofing. The geometric parapet wall was constructed from brick and concrete around the perimeter. 2 domes were designed and placed on top of the roof at the northwest and southeast side. It is made of reinforced concrete, and molded steel rods are used to form the hemisphere shape of the Masjid's dome. On top of the hemisphere dome, concrete is being shaped to create a form of a cone to symbolize the crown or apex of the dome. The interior floor of the masjid is being carpeted with a red carpet with a small geometric pattern. Inside the Masjid Sungai Chinchin, there is also an old mimbar that made of timber and coated with dark brown paint. The ornamentations at the mimbar is mainly inspired from a geometric motif that shows symmetrical balance. Later, due to the maintenance, it was replaced with a new stainless steel mimbar. It has a small dome on top of each corner with a simple geometric carving below. At the splat of the mimbar seat, there is a carved ornament with floral motif with a focal point or punca bunga as the datum of the ornament. The masjid was surrounded with 5 stairs that are located outside the prayer area. 2 of the stairs are connected to the outdoor area. 2 other stairs are connected to the spillover area towards the madrasah, and 1 stair is connected to the audio room. At the outside of the mihrab of the masjid, there is a kubur contoh built by Sheikh Muhammad Noor. His intentions was to be a reminder to the people who are still alive. He built some kubur contoh around the masjid, but only one that still exists until now and has been concreted. 2 small kolah were built at the northeast and southeast, which are attached to the masjid. The main bigger kolah was built in between the masjid and madrasah. However, in 2006, due to the increased number of jemaah, the kolah was moved to the current location. The area was then renovated as a spillover area with the white tiles. It became a multifunction area for many activities and also a prayer area during Friday prayer. Nowadays, the ground level was raised 0.25 meter from the existing ground level, and on the first floor, a new layer of timber flooring was added on top of the old flooring. Both floors were also covered with carpet. They also installed a ceiling consisting of 10mm gypsum boards. The ceiling consists of timber frames and batten which are connected to the timber joists. After some renovations toward the ground floor, the half wall on the southeast and southwest elevations is changed from timber materials to concrete walls, as can be seen in the current building. This is due to the old timber walls being damaged throughout the time. A fixed jalousie glass window and a steel mesh grille are also built together along with the concrete wall. The madrasah has retained the original form of the window from its construction day, but the current madrasah only has several windows after some renovations. There is also a timber back door added at the ground floor, where most of the time it is locked and unused. A single leaf waffle steel door grille with steel framing is added to provide security for the upstairs prayer hall. The awning roof on the southeast and southwest side was removed, and the material was changed from zinc to metal decking, which is more durable compared to zinc. bertapak teguh bertongkat budi, melakar hikayat turun-temurun, ilmu menjadi paksi kendiri, terpahat warisan tetangga serumpun. Throughout the years, the influential teachings of Syekh Muhammad Noor have been a strong foundation for the growth of the local community. The Tafiz that was named after the founder, together with the madrasah that is still taken care of as part of the masjid, represent pieces of evidence of how much the people treasure this heritage and the long history behind it. The legacy will continue as people from various places come with true intentions of grasping a better understanding of Islamic teaching.